If your legs feel weak, shaky, or like they may give out, then this video is for you.
That's right. Most people think it's just part of the aging process, but we're going to show you 5 specific reasons why it happens and how to counter it.
Bob and Brad, the 2 most famous physical therapists on the internet.
Welcome to the Bob and Brad channel. We are the most famous physical therapy team on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Mike.
And if you're new to our channel, like this video, please subscribe.
And even if you're not new to this channel, maybe you can subscribe again.
I don't know if you can double subscribe, but you can hit the notification bell.
There you
anyway, we are talking about leg weakness today and 5 reasons why it happens. So we're going to go through all 5 talking points and give a few suggestions of things you can try. So number 1 is pretty generalized, and that is muscle weakness in your hips, your quads, and your glutes. So what happens is if your muscles get too weak from not using them too much, so if you sit a lot, maybe you had an injury or maybe you had a poor rehab process after surgery, this can cause general weakness.
Maybe people just retired and they
sit too much.
Got sedentary because they didn't have plans on how to keep active, because if you don't use it, you lose it.
And oftentimes this shows up with knees buckling, or maybe you just can't walk as far or have trouble standing. So we're going to show you a few exercises you can try in your own home if your legs are getting too weak. And the first one is simply sit the stands. Do you want to show from a mat? And or you get the chair, I'll get the mat.
Oh, yeah.
So sit the stands. If you are very weak and have trouble getting off a couch or low chair, maybe start on a higher surface or use your hand rests in a firm chair to start. And we're just going to work on standing up and sitting down. This is essentially a squat, but most people can master the form if they're practicing standing up and sitting down from a chair.
You notice Mike's on a higher level, which makes it much easier, which may be where you want to start. If you sit on a normal chair like this and go like this and you cannot stand up comfortably like this, then you may want to start there, because that's going to be the goal. Can you do this very comfortably 10 times, and then you're ready to go and be unlimited with many activities. You may have to push here, up all the way, squeeze those butt muscles together. Be very sincere about the exercise and do it properly. It's not an up and down, it's up, squeeze, shoulders back, good posture, down, slow, 2 hands, 1 hand, or no hands, depending on your strength.
Do some lower repetitions, like 3 to 5 reps if you're really struggling. You can do 10 reps if it's easy, and just do it frequently throughout the day. You can do it morning, afternoon, evening, whatever works your schedule.
What are you doing laying down?
I'm going to show a bridge, which if you have trouble with sit the stands, you can start with the bridge.
Oh,
you can certainly do this on your bed. So what you're going to do is squeeze your butt cheeks together, tighten those tummy muscles first, and you're going to lift your butt up in the air. You can hold this for 3 to 5 seconds and then come back down. Try to get your butt up as high as you can off the mat and hold it for that 5 seconds and then come back down. If you are weaker, you may only be able to lift up a little bit, but make sure to get those cues. Squeeze the glutes, tighten the tummy muscles, and then lift up. It's a good core strengthening exercise, low back, buttock, quads, hammies. I feel it all over.
Yeah. So, if you can do the ones seated, sit the stands, do they need to do this one as well?
You don't have to do this one. You can pick one or the other. If you want to do all 3, you certainly can. We're going to show a third option. This one is probably the harder of the 3 if you struggle with stairs, but just doing step-ups is a good exercise. So hold on to the railings for support and leave one leg up. You're going to step up and then bring the leg back down. Keep the same leg up there and control it both ways. Don't just fall back down, because we're working on building up strength. You can do 5 to 10 repetitions on one leg and then switch to the other. If you're having difficulty on your normal stairs, but maybe you have a step stool that's very sturdy and you can hold on to something for support that's maybe a shorter step, you can try that, but it's good leg strengthener.
Yeah, that's right. It's a really nice thing to do. If this is too easy for you, you can simply go to the next step up. There you go.
Yeah, that's a big step.
And, if you have 2 handrails, that's a big advantage. If you don't have any handrails, then you may not want to do that, because that's a recipe for falling. So
a simple progression would be just to stick with the one step with one railing and then no railings, as long as you can control it down. Before I would progress to trying to go up to a second step, because that's quite a quite a big step.
There. So supine bridging, one option. Sit to stands out of a chair, different levels, and using the stairway for the step ups.
Now, reason number 2 your legs may become weak is nerve problems. Now, this could be coming from your back. You could have some form of sciatica issues. So you're just not getting a clear signal from your brain to your legs, and it's causing some issues. So first off, we just want to do some gentle spinal mobility options. What you can do for beginners is just some low trunk rotations, lying on your back. This is a good beginner option, and just try to go side to side, what feels comfortable. If you're having some really bad back pain, don't go as far each direction. Just stick to what pain-free motion you have.
You want me to babble a little bit?
You can babble a little bit if you want.
No, so if you do this, it should feel comfortable. It should make your legs feel better. If you are having some nerve problems, in other words, numbness, tingling, or burning going down your leg, and this makes it worse, you need to stop. That's a situation where you should go in and have a doctor assess you, because when you have burning, numbness, tingling, it means a nerve is probably pinched, and if there's muscle weakness as a result of that, say, for example, you have a hard time lifting your toes up like this or this, then you need to see a doctor and have it addressed as opposed to these.
Yes. Another thing you can try is a seated sciatic nerve glide. This is a very basic exercise. As long as it feels good, you can try it. If it makes things worse, then do not do it. And again, see the doctor. So you're going to want to sit on a taller surface. You can use a chair if it's tall enough. I'm sitting on a bench. This could be like the edge of the bed, as long as your bed has a firm edge here. And all you're going to do is work on looking up towards the ceiling while kicking your legs up and toes up, and then you're going to bring your head down while you're bending your knee back like this. So you're just going to do some gentle nerve glides, we call these.
Yeah, and you can use some dorsiflexion when your head's going back, pull up like this. And you'll know if, as you go down, point your toe as you bend your knee. You'll know if this is working the nerve because you'll feel some unusual sensations. And as you do it, it should get better. If you have some numbness, tingling, or burning or pain, and it gets worse every time, stop because it's too aggressive. You need to see a professional about that.
You can just do 8 to 10 repetitions if you have issues with both legs. If you only feel this in one leg, you just have to do it on the leg that's bothering you.
That's right.
That's something you can try.
Yeah, that one's a little complicated because of the motion, so, use good judgment.
Next common issue people's legs give out is joint wear and tear. Now, this can be just from injuries, from working too much over the years. Oftentimes, your joints are going to be your hips, your knees, and your ankles. And one of them just has some pain. Maybe you have some instability in there, and it often can lead to muscle weakness around the joints. So what you actually want to do is what we did first, is strengthen up your muscles, because typically the stronger your muscles are, the better your joints are going to start feeling, because it's going to take pressure off of your joints and put them on your muscles.
So if you do have a joint pain, the pain automatically shuts the muscles around it down. So the thing to do is get that joint moving. If your knees hurt without doing the sit to stand, maybe just some range of motion to get the knee moving and activated, do both of them, and then progress to the sit to stand, and then push up, use your arms and control it. If a painful experience in your knees, should be less with assistance of your arms versus this.
Now, build up to what you can. You obviously, if you have arthritis really bad, where your joints are actually creaking and everyone can audibly hear it, just do what's comfortable. Also doing stuff like non-weight-bearing exercises like Brad was showing, kicking, or even just doing something like riding on a stationary bike can be beneficial and adding some resistance.
Yep, that's a real nice exercise.
Or the new step machine, too.
Yeah, something non-weight-bearing, but you're putting some resistance through it so you can control it.
Reason number 4 is if you are starting to have balance or proprioceptive issues. So oftentimes people maybe with neuropathy will have these issues. If you've had a joint replacement, sometimes you lose some of the joint receptors in there. They do come back, but oftentimes if you're not practicing these things, they get worse. So this just maybe you're using a walker more now. It's still good to do do some practice with balance exercises to help train the body and reintegrate that mind-body connection. So the first one we're going to do is single leg standing. Now with this, hold on to support. Brad, you want to kind of talk through it quick?
Sure. I'm using the stick here and the wall for support. You can go into the corner of a room and put your back into the corner, so you use the walls for support. Unfortunately, I've got a mess here, so and this is working out well for me. Single leg balance. You can put your leg up like this. You can rest it here, wrap it around the back side of your leg. A slight bend in the weight-bearing knee. Just a slight bend, and see how long you can hold it. If it's easy with support, take one hand off, but leave it up. And then the other one up if it's easy. The goal for really good balance, if you're 60 years or older, if you can hold a single leg balance for 30 seconds, you're doing really well, okay? A lot of people, it's in my experience, 5 to 15 seconds is pretty typical. If you have joint pain, it really, say this knee was painful, you're really gonna decrease your balance in that leg. So don't work it too hard. Go to the other one, and again, work that up to 30 seconds, and maybe 3 or 4 times if it's shorter repetitions.
Another option to do if you're really struggling with single leg is something we call tandem stance. So if perfect tandem stance would be like you're heel to toe walking, but you're just staying in place. Some people can't get into this position for whatever reason. So maybe you could try with feet apart, just one foot forward, slowly try to progress it so one foot is in front of the other, and then eventually try to get them closer to your midline to cross them. Again, hold on to support for this. And then make sure to try to do both ways. So one foot forward and then try the other foot forward. Again, you can do this for time. So you can go 15, 30 seconds up to a minute. You could do it 3 to 4 times in a row. Normally this, I don't know if it's harder than single leg stance. I think they're both challenging in their own ways. But
yeah, I agree. And as far as wearing shoes or not, you can do it either way. I mean, obviously if you're on a smooth floor, put shoes on so you have some grip. You need to have a good hold of the floor. Sometimes not wearing shoes on carpet like this can be beneficial because you get a better feel for the floor, which can help your balance, and it does promote strengthening of the ankle muscles.
Another thing for those both, if they seem easy for you, but you're still having some balance issues, is just make it more challenging. Standing on a large pillow, a foam pad that challenges your balance, something unsteady, maybe the grass outside, as long as you have something to hold on to and you feel safe. Just not having a nice, compliant, firm surface, this makes it a little more challenging.
Yeah, look at his ankle. It's really working hard, and you will feel fatigue in your ankle muscles. This is really good for those people who are active hikers, particularly, like you said, if you're walking through grass up and down hills or up the mountain, this is a good one to help maintain your balance.
Now, if those both seem very challenging, something more simple you can do is just weight shifting. So instead of standing nice and center, you just work on shifting all your weight towards one leg. So I'm kind of putting all my weight here. My toe is still touching, but my heel might be kind of up on one side. And I'm just working on weight shifting, getting my weight to each side so I don't feel like I'm going to tip over sideways, because some people's balance is so poor, if they lean too much to one side, they feel like they're going to go over. Again, hold on to support if needed for this, but this is how you would begin if these seem way too challenging.
Yeah. And, even just using a cane or a stick really can be helpful, the wall there. Again, do these with safety in mind so that if you do lose your balance, very easy to correct it.
The last reason you may have some weakness in your legs is just poor overall muscular endurance and circulation issues. Now, from a PT perspective, the only thing we can really do to work on your overall endurance and circulation is to move for more duration of time. You can do this in many different ways, like we talked about earlier. You could do it on a recumbent bike or a new step machine. Even those seated pedalers are good options that you could purchase at a relatively inexpensive if you don't have gym access. Walking is fine too. Ellipticals, rowing machines, whatever you have available to you and you like. Just start slow and slowly build up the duration over weeks. Don't go, I'm going to do 10 minutes tomorrow and I haven't gone on it in, a year. Start with a few minutes and then maybe do it a couple times through the day. Take do shorter durations more frequently throughout the day if you're really struggling with it.
Yeah, if you're a walker, this miserable weather like it is in Minnesota today in the winter, we have some videos by Jordan.
Yeah.
You go to Bob and Brad, Jordan, and look up walking videos. She does an excellent job for indoor walking. So you're just in place, but you're following her. She leads you along. It'll make that walk so much more enjoyable. And you're going to get an education and a good quality exercise.
Just make sure to do what you can. Don't go to the point of exhaustion where you feel like you're going to fall over or collapse. Just take breaks and take it slow and easy.
There you go.
So those are the 5 reasons. You may have more than one reason, but I think the important thing from this video is to practice what you're not good at, because if you don't, it will not improve.
Yes, that's right. Another video if you want to watch for leg strengthening exercises you should do every day.
Yeah, click the video link on the screen. It's only 3 of them. So if you feel like you want some more options, try those out.
Yep.
Hit me with that stick.
You know what this reminds me of?
One of those things in the psychology office where it ticks back and forth.
Oh, that's a
metronome?
Good metronome or windshield wiper. There you go. That was the tip of the day.
Bob and Brad, the 2 most famous physical